energy demand is going to be increasing by a lot.
It's a sector with a ton of money pouring in from some of the biggest names.
Meta, Google, Amazon, all of these big tech names are looking to invest into nuclear.
As AI investing ramps back up, nuclear stocks are also seeing some massive momentum.
High double digits, if not triple digits already. And of course, that is the question everyone wants to get answered. Is it too late? Is there any more upside?
MarketBeat's Gabriel Ossorio Mazilli shares a list of 4 nuclear stocks that are not only seeing a big boost right now, but still have plenty of room left to climb.
A new price target calling for 35% upside.
The rising stars in nuclear energy you won't want to miss. Let's dive in. Gabriel, so great to have you back on the channel talking about an industry that's seen a big comeback, and that's nuclear energy. These stocks were all really popular kind of at the turn of the year, that December, January, February timeframe. A lot of investors were looking towards energy investments, specifically in nuclear. And then they saw a big drop down with the rest of the market in April. But now they're coming back, and some of them coming back even stronger than they were earlier in the year. So why are we seeing such a resurgence in this sector?
Well, I think when you think about the major tailwinds that are happening in the global economy for the future years, I think nuclear energy is right on top with everything else, right? When you think of renewable energy, as far as solar goes, as far as wind goes, we're not really there yet as far as replacing fossil fuels. What is there, though, is nuclear energy. Now, that sector, that space gets a bad reputation based on the incidents that have happened over the past few decades, right? But what most investors don't take into account is that the technology has now evolved over the years to avoid some of those incidents that happened in the past. And now, with the prospect of oil going higher and the prospect of new energy demands out of AI data centers and the such technologies that are coming up in the world, I think that energy demand is going to be increasing by a lot, and that is where nuclear energy comes top of mind for investors that are looking to solve that problem moving forward.
Yeah, it makes sense as we see the resurgence in the AI stocks, the chip stocks out there, that we also see a renewed interest in energy that's going to help power all of these AI plays. If you're looking for some AI momentum plays to invest in right now, check out this free list on the best AI stocks for 2025. It's a premium report that's free just for our YouTube viewers. You can scan the QR code or click the link in the description of this video to get that list for free right now at marketbeat.com. And Gabriel, let's get back to nuclear stocks and your list. I'd love to hear the first company that you have as the biggest momentum player right now in the nuclear field.
Yes, that would be Oklo Energy. And this nuclear player has a lot of tailwinds happening behind it. In fact, it is the one stock that outperformed everyone else in this list over the past quarter. And there's a reason for it. Now, I must say to investors, this is one of those high risk, high reward plays that can really pay off if you land on the right side of history. So, the main story for Oklo right now is that the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, has been pushed into a new agenda. And that agenda is to develop nuclear reactors across the US to sort of mitigate the effects on the power grid, on oil demand, coal, and natural gas. As we mentioned, the rise of data centers and AI are now taking a big toll on the current infrastructure. So Oklo has been rising because it's a new contract with the US and countries like Korea as well. As you know, the Asian economy is suffering from the same factors that we are suffering here today when it comes to energy demand and future demand coming from AI data centers and such.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And Oklo has a really different plan than the traditional nuclear, big nuclear stacks you might be thinking of. I think that's what set this company apart too. Let's talk about some of those catalysts for this company specifically that's really kind of setting it as one of the leaders in the nuclear industry right now.
Yeah, so Oklo right now, I would say the main catalyst would be landing on those contracts. Keep the contracts coming, keep the proof of concept, the proof of service coming in for not only Korea, but other countries as well that might step into this company and then its services, as well as within the United States. And it's not only for energy demand and infrastructure, you could also keep defense in mind. You could keep the defense budget that is increasing and how that might play out for nuclear energy in the future. Now, of course, those will only become popular in the marketplace as a whole when oil prices and energy prices go up. And then everyone starts looking for alternatives. And as we mentioned in the beginning, I think nuclear is the one that's better positioned over solar, over wind, to really cater to that demand that is coming. So this is going to be a quiet place until it's really loud. And by the time it gets loud, it might be too late. So investors might be looking into Oklo thinking, when are those contracts coming in? When is everything going to be hot again for this stock? And I think could be right around the corner if you don't deviate too much from the name.
That's a really interesting point, Gabriel, because I want to pull up the chart here because I think some investors might be wondering if it's already too late simply because of the big rise that Oklo has seen just in the last few weeks. If you were buying Oklo in April, May timeframe, you'd be doing very well right now.
Yeah, it would be up high double digits, if not triple digits already. And of course, that is the question everyone wants to get answered, right? Is it too late? Is there any more upside? What we're doing here, right? And I think that Wall Street analysts and their opinion is a good place to start when it comes to stocks like these, right? And for Oklo, remember, we have the catalyst in the contracts and potential new defense investment in the US, infrastructure investment in the US, and now in Asia as well. So when you look at the broader picture for Oklo, it's still trading at 74% of its 52-week high. So that gives investors 25% or so of room to collect a recovery, right? A potential recovery rally to retest those highs. But that's not necessarily the ceiling. And that's what analysts at Wedbush are saying, with the recent price target boost commanding a 35% potential upside for Oklo. So I think, sure, you can look at the momentum and think, I might have missed the boat already. But then when you look at Wall Street expectations and you look at the room for the previous ceiling in Oklo, I think there's still a lot of potential for this name. Not something that you want to bet against or leave in the back burner because momentum is always something that institutions want to watch for in the end.
Momentum is a great point about this company, but it's not the only nuclear company seeing this kind of momentum right now. Let's get to that second name on your list that has a really similar chart right now.
Yes, so when it comes to momentum, the second best name in this list that's right up there with Oklo is NuScale. So NuScale is riding on similar tailwinds as Oklo is when it comes to the NRC, when it comes to regulatory demands and agendas for meeting those nuclear quotas in the coming years for the US. Now, this one, it's kind of that competition what we saw in defense stocks and other energy stocks. These are fighting head to head and the market thinks they are both winning. There's not a clear winner yet when it comes to price action, when it comes to price targets, when it comes to behavior. So I think that investors could diversify the bets if they are betting on the future. Lending on contracts, on the future investment, on the future infrastructure bills, and things like that that could help nuclear development in the US and other countries. So I think when it comes to NuScale, the only differentiator is defense. Because NuScale has landed some defense contracts already, some of which Oklo is still in the works with. So if you're looking for that momentum, that differentiator, that is where NuScale stands out.
Yeah, another really interesting company, largely because of the innovations it has in nuclear energy. Let's look at this chart and what analysts are also saying about NuScale, because the chart again is very similar to what we're seeing in Oklo.
Right. When it comes to the short term, both Oklo and NuScale have led the way compared to everything else in nuclear. But when you zoom out, again, when you look at the broader picture, this stock is still at 72% of its 52-week high. So just like Oklo, you still have a lot of room left for it to retest the previous highs. And, that usually gives investors a view of this is not uncharted territory. This is not off of reality. This is not something that couldn't be done. And I think that looking at Wall Street expectations again, just like Oklo, for NuScale, you see a new price boost by analysts at Citigroup, commanding, again, a potential upside percentage in the 30s, high 30s, mid 30s. So I think that for those, when you look at momentum and when you look at potential catalysts down the road, especially on that regulatory side of things, there's a lot of upside left that's backed by momentum, backed by fundamentals. And again, when the whole industry becomes hot again, I think these are the two names that are going to win by a big margin compared to the others.
Both Oklo and NuScale seem to be kind of similar companies. Is there an argument to be had to own both of these stocks so you can take advantage of both of them? Or is there one you would choose over another? I know that's another question investors might have out there.
Personally, I would look to diversify. And the reason is that these two operate in the small reactor space, which is a new area of nuclear, right? More than that, you have the speculative aspect of the contracts that might be landed, might not be landed. So when it comes to these bets for the future, I don't like to pick just one. I like to take the venture capitalist approach, if you will, of making small bets, spread it around, and then one of them might hit big and then make up for the other. But best case scenario, they both went big. And when it comes to the correlation between these two stocks, chances are if you get a win of Oklo, you're also gonna get a win off of NuScale. So that I don't think diversifying could be anything other than the right place to be in these two names.
Good advice on those first two leaders in your nuclear list. Let's get to the third company on your list.
So this would be a step off of the value chain that we've been talking about, right? The ones that already have the concept, the developments, and the constructions in place to provide this energy demand, right? So now we step back in the value chain into Cameco energy. So this one provides the uranium mining aspect of things, which is, I would say, the best place to be right now because just like when you look at other energy spaces, right? When you look at oil, you could look at the big producers or you could look at the drillers, right? Which ones get paid first? The drillers, when they provide the equipment, when they provide all the necessary raw materials. So I think Cameco, in this case, is one of those players where as soon as demand for nuclear energy comes online, as soon as those contracts hit, as soon as everything else is in place, you will see a major uh, outperformance, so to speak, in Cameco when it comes to its positioning in the uranium sector right here.
Yeah, uranium is another way to diversify an investment into nuclear energy. If you are bullish on this whole sector, I think diversifying from the smaller companies to the large reactor companies, which we're going to get to in a moment, to also the uranium plays. There's a few different companies out there in the uranium space. What sets this company apart?
Well, this one would be in its current exposure to the US, right? So other names are still trying to bang in the door and get their foot through the door when it comes to the US exposure. Chemico's already there. Chemico's got the size, it's got the scale, and it's got the exposure to all of the big players right now in the industry. And I think you can see those factors at play, plus the demand side of things and what it stands in the value chain, because the stock already trades at 95% of its 52-week high. So that would be more momentum than anything else on this list when it comes to relative price action, right? Now, that doesn't mean that the ceiling is closer. If anything, it means that it could break through a new ceiling, and that's what Wall Street analysts are saying today. They still expect double-digit percentage upside through recent upgrades that were landed on Cameco, and I think that with the price of uranium, if it starts going up again with the demand of nuclear as an alternative for energy, again, if oil prices go up, if natural gas prices go up, then uranium is going to be the best alternative to develop that scalable nuclear energy.
You're talking about scalable nuclear energy. All of that takes time and development to really get some of these big projects online that we've been talking about for the past year now of different investments coming in, trying to get these large facilities started. I feel like this play, Cameco, would get maybe an earlier boost than some of the other areas of the nuclear energy, simply because it's more on the front end of what you need to even get this started.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to the value chain concept, right, you have sort of those in the middle, which are Oklo and NuScale. When it comes to Cameco, that's right at the top, which is why, again, this $31 billion company, it's in the right place, it's got the right size, the right scale, and analysts from the Royal Bank of Canada now see a new price target calling for 35% upside or so. So combining that with the fact that it already trades very close to its 52-week highs and very well primed to break into a new high, just like you said, I think Cameco could see the best price action when the tide turns. for nuclear energy.
All right, let's get to that last company on your list, Gabriel, of a fourth company that's seeing a lot of momentum in the nuclear field right now.
Yes, this would be the biggest name in this list, and that is Constellation Energy. So, for those investors who aren't really comfortable playing the volatility in Cameco with the supply demand dynamics in uranium, and aren't really looking to speculate on whether Oklo and NuScale get those contracts done, I think Constellation is the best play out there. It's a $90 billion company, and there's a reason for that size. Because this one is the largest operator of nuclear energy in the United States. So it's got no competition at this stage. It's got no competition at this scale. And that shows with the type of customers that Constellation has landed in recent months, such as Meta. So, as you know, Meta, Google, Amazon, all of these big tech names are looking to invest into nuclear. So, when that money starts rolling in, when those projects start rolling in for data centers, for AI development, Constellation is going to be at the top of the list. Why? Because of its size. It's able to cater to this demand and cater to these new projects better than anybody else, faster than anybody else, and at a better price. So I think when you look at a way to diversify away from volatility, this big cap name is going to be your best choice.
Yeah, I think this is a really good diverse list of stocks to look at in the nuclear field. And that's because they're going to benefit in different ways. I think Constellation is a name so many people have known about. And I think maybe growth investors, value investors might shy away from some of these bigger names. But like you said, companies like Constellation are getting the biggest investment from the huge AI players, the huge Mag 7 names are looking to invest in these large companies because they want to scale quickly into nuclear energy. How far away do you think some of those major AI investments into nuclear power could be for companies like Constellation getting that bigger boost and really growing their company even more?
Well, you could look at timelines such as the Texas infrastructure issues that are happening right now, as a lot of companies from California and New York move into Texas for greater tax benefits, the weather, who knows why, right? But the fact is that states like Texas aren't ready to take on this load of energy demand and energy infrastructure. So I think that those developments might be right around the corner, especially as Meta, Amazon, uh, Google, and all of those big tech names are already looking to expand into this space for the efficiency, reliability, and renewable aspect of nuclear energy. So, as AI grows and as the US is now looking at competition from countries like China and other nations that are looking to win this AI race, I think that we're one or two steps away from seeing Constellation land on more of these big tech names, land on more construction contracts, infrastructure development, and expansion, which I think it's why the stock now trades at 85% of its 52-week high. So again, greater momentum to the relative highs, but there's still a chance for it to break out as analysts from JP Morgan Chase now see up to 20% upside in this stock. So effectively, that would make it a new 52-week high. And as we mentioned before, when momentum comes in, likely there will be more institutional buying chasing that momentum from the market.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot more buying in this field altogether. Thank you so much for this list, Gabriel, for really solid names in nuclear energy to be looking at right now. But there are others out there and other really big players too. We have a list of the top nuclear stocks that you should have in your portfolio in 2025. It's a premium report you can get by scanning the QR code now or clicking the link in the description of this video to get that report all for free on marketbeat.com. And let us know what you think in the comments. Are there other nuclear plays that you're watching this year? Is there something maybe non traditional in the nuclear space that you could also see benefiting alongside the growth in this industry? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. And as always, happy investing.